Hi everyone, we're back again, and this is Game 5 of Buckeye Battles. This time I got what I was been waiting for this whole time. I got my wish, I guess. Warriors of Stark Gods. You know, it's pretty amazing.
Didn't face any Infernal Dwarves, at least.
I did not. I got that going for me. Yeah. No, wasn't thrilled with the draw. In any of the 5 games. Despite the ones the 2 I won. It's like, Alright. So, moving on. I did not, somehow I misplaced this gentleman's list. I do not have his list. But from memory, which will tell you is not awesome.
Who are you?
Exactly. This is kind of what he had. He had Lord of Chaos, Wrath, Mark of Wrath. He had a 1-up rerollable armor save, and I could not tell you what else he had, simply because it never... anyway. Yeah, don't know what else he had. He had a level 1 sorcerer running around, 22 warriors with the Wrath, Mark of Wrath, unit of 5 warhounds, 2 units of Fallen, 2 units of 5 Fallen with Mark of Pestilence, 25 Barbarians with great weapons, 5 Barbarian Horsemen, 5 Hell Riders, Mark of Lust, and the Wasteland Giant with Mark of Change. And he did I believe it was a 90-point upgrade to make him a Wizard Conclave and a champion. But it makes him a champion, so now he can issue challenges, which protects him a lot.
Yes.
He
it's the only fieldable giant.
He gets well, I don't know. That Chaos Dwarf one's fairly good with his heavy armor and plate armor or whatever he gets. Yeah. Even the beast one that gets to reroll his attack is a little bit better.
They're better than the orc one, but they're still not good.
No,
compared to the other monster choices in the armies.
Good point. But anyway, it makes him a champion. So because he's a champion, he gets +1 weapon skill. He gets +1 wound, so now he's up to 7 wounds, and he becomes a level 2 Wizard Conclave guy, which gives him the pink fire and the blue fire, the D6 strength D6, and the D3+2 strength breath weapon.
Right.
Both really good spells, by the way. I like them both. I think we talked about those at one point. So anyway, moving on. This was my setup. To the left, I had 2 Boar Boy units. Oh, this scenario was the messenger scenario, where you had a model that was a messenger. Your goal was to get him off the back edge of the board.
It had to be a foot model.
It has to be a model on foot, no more than 40 by 40 and 40 by 40 millimeters. So if you had ogres, he could be an ogre. If you had, but
so it could be any troop you had in your army.
But the stats were all the same. He was always a toughness 4 guy with 5-up armor, 5-up ward.
I see.
The stats never changed, and 2 wounds. Stats for the guy never changed, but he could be on whatever you needed to, so he could fit in your army, basically. Right. I guess if you're playing Kingdom of Equitaine, you're out of luck unless you used foot guys.
Yeah.
But
he's a peasant.
unless he's a peasant, and he's going to be very lonely. So anyway.
And he had to set up in your own deployment area, I'm assuming?
Yes.
And he didn't get any special abilities? So
no special deployment abilities,
or ambush?
No ambush.
I'm off.
I'm done.
Yeah.
But anyway, so far left had 2 units of Boar Boys. Get Launcher, big Gargantula Spider. There's the Splatterer, the Beast Herd. Oh, sorry, Beast Herd. Nasher.
Nasher.
Herd.
Expensive tape measure.
Tape measure, I skipped it. Unit of Common Goblins, same one as always, light armor shield, bow, light bows, short bows. BSB's in there, level 2 wizard. There's a troll, cave troll here, big unit of Ed Bashers. Off on the left you see the Wizarding Hood guy. General's up there in the front, and the messenger's also in that unit. There's another cave troll. This is a Goblin Chariot, and a unit of 6 Gnasher Dashers. A little bit further up, you see the unit of Spiders, and the Grotlings have not been deployed. In the back, you see the other Git Launcher. On to his. You got a unit of War Dogs. Oh, the deployment on this was 15 inches in on the sides and 9 inches in the center.
Okay, so it was a staggered setup, but
it was kind of staggered. But
his
his
more
setup,
space.
His setup was the exact same. So you're both 15 inches in. So you're really, if you're at the edge, you're 18 inches apart.
Right.
If you're at the very edge of the deployment zones. So, with a 9-inch move chariot,
Yeah.
I thought that was going to be really handy for me.
Or an 8-inch move spider.
Or an 8-inch move spider, but he's only 7.
Mm-hmm.
So anyway, over to his side, you can see the Chaos with his Warhounds here. Unit of the Fallen behind it. Big, scary unit of warriors on the hill.
Yeah, it's got a lot of warriors.
And there's his Giant. His Giant is facing off to the left. Not sure why. Other just think to hide behind the hill. Unit of the 5 Hell... What were they? Hell Riders?
Yes.
This is the big block of Barbarians. Over here is another unit of Fallen with the Messenger in the front of this unit. Unit of 5 Barbarian Riders, and just a level 1 Scroll Caddy Mage hanging out over here. Again, this list is from memory, so... So there's a better picture of his units. And looks like we're off. The Spiders, you can see them on the left-hand side where they deployed in the little forest out here. But, let's go back up. So, on turn 1, he vanguarded up this Barbarian unit. Sorry, before turn 1 deployment. These guys had Vanguard. So he vanguarded them up. I did the math, and I'm 14 inches away from him. So I'm a movement 4. I decide, you know what? I'm going to do the Wah. Because if nothing else, I've got these 2 trolls to come up here and screen me if it doesn't work.
Right.
So I went ahead, did the Warg, called the Warg. Needham basically bumped me up to movement 9. He's 14 inches away. I mean, movement 5, 14 inches away. I need to roll a 9. And I did. So I'm like, oh, this is going to be great. So I'm hitting this unit in positions to blow right through it. I'm thinking everything's looking good. Over here on the right, my Chariot also slams into... It originally charged the Hounds. They fled, and I redirected into the Fallen. It's like, okay, this is going to be good. I also tried with the Gnasher Dashers. They failed. Trolls were left to move, so I was able to bring this guy up so that the Chaos Warriors cannot get into my flank. And their Wrath. So they're going to hit this guy. If they charge, they're going to have to hit this guy and run off to the right. So, there's a picture of that. Spiders hung out here. They moved up to the edge of the woods, so they were within 12 of these guys. They could shoot some stuff at him. You can see the Grotlings have, they deployed off to the, they scouted off to the far left and just moved, between Vanguard and move. They got within 12 inches to be able to shoot at his Sorcerer. And everybody else kind of just hung back. You can see the Boar Boys moving up some.
Who set up first in this?
Again, I think I did. I'm detecting a pattern here. So, all the stuff on the right was engaged pretty much. So I dropped I went with I couldn't see his Giant because he was hiding behind the big hill. So I decided to drop my splatter right here in the center of his Barbarian Riders. Just, thump them really good. Missed them by 10 inches. Right back onto my Spiders. And killed 3 out of the 5, and the 2 left fled forward.
Yeah.
Because they fled from what hit them, which was me. So I was fairly impressed with that. If you notice, the 2 Grotlings with their 4 throwing weapons have managed to put a wound on his mage.
There you go.
I was fairly impressed with that.
Don't underestimate the grotlings.
I will never do it again. And as you can see, my orcs have smashed the unit of barbarians, sent them fleeing. Not a lot of dead ones, but I did win the combat and chase him.
But not very far.
Not very far. He's put a wound on my messenger already. But I did complete a charge with my messenger, so I got that going for me. But they did go very far, and I didn't overrun very far.
Right.
So...
And you seem to be missing a chariot.
And my chariot smashed into the Fallen. I killed one with the impact hits, and then died horribly.
So really, it just smashed. It didn't really smash into.
Correct.
Yeah.
That's a better term for it. Yeah, terrible. Anyway, I was hoping to kill a few on the impact. I mean, I figured the guys were going to tear me up because they got D3 plus 1 attacks each and strength 4. I was just hoping to take a larger chunk of them with me.
Sure.
Which I did not. Over here on his turn 1, we both apparently forgot that the spiders had fled, so he charged me.
Okay. Well, when in doubt, cheat.
And we both completely forgot that they were fleeing at this time and should have just run. But anyway, so there he goes. Fallen moved up here on the left of my big unit of orcs.
I'm very impressed with the large templates on the left-hand side with the paper.
You like that?
Yeah, I like that a lot.
Yeah. Well, that was my, I should look at that. I should blow that up and see if that's his army list.
Is it the army list that we can't find?
That I'm missing.
Yeah.
This giant charged out from behind the hill, thumped into the side of my orcs. These guys set up here. This odd formation of
Yes, I was going to ask you that.
Hell Riders here.
That looks like an Age of Sigmar.
These things, you can see by these long snouts and tails,
Right.
will not rank up. Not if they're in any formation other than, 5 wide. And he was 3 deep, so anyway, they charged into my troll.
Oh, so
that's what
it's
that
basically
is.
a dart.
And they're 2 wide, charging into the troll.
I see.
You just kind of set them out there to get them out of the way. The Fallen have charged. The warriors passed their frenzy check and did not have to charge the troll. The Fallen did. They chose to charge the troll. And this guy's technically up here on the hill with the rest of them.
Looks like the dogs
They just won't sit.
rallied in the back also.
And the dogs rallied, prepared to come back at me.
And the giant was getting some troop action.
And the giant's going to have fun with those orcs. Lucky the messenger's right there in the corner, but the giant has no ability to direct attacks. So unless he rolls that
But he has the
pickup
ability
end.
to keep your orcs there for a while.
But with his 7 wounds in my flank, he's going to keep my orcs there for a while. So moving on, you can see his barbarian horses cleaned up my spiders, my fleeing spiders. Shouldn't have been there anyway. His barbarians rallied, big horde of barbarians. My guys have fought the giant and turned to face him. Hellstriders was a push. The Fallen have chased my troll down off the hill. You can see him fleeing down here in the bottom. And that leaves it for turn 2, where the orcs, the boar boys move up. Spider headed up into the woods. Grotlings just stood where they are and threw their weapons at these barbarian horsemen. This way, if he charges me and overruns, he's out here where my boar boys can get him. And the goblins got ambitious and charged into the flank of these guys to help their buddy the troll.
Is that guy a casualty or is he a lone survivor?
This guy out here,
Yeah.
he's a lone survivor from I believe a doom diver shot. Got his 3 buddies after he killed the troll.
I see.
So he's a lone survivor chasing down my troll. There's a picture missing in here. These hoppers, the squig herd, came up here on the side of the hill to force the warriors to charge him.
Mm-hmm.
And you can see he's charged him, and then after he
Ran
killed
off
him,
the table.
he overran off the table.
Mm-hmm.
The Hell Strider has broken from combat from the goblins and fled back here. I did not pursue with my troll. I needed that troll around as a redirector later. And bottom of 2, you can see the warriors are coming. Warriors have come back. How did they come back so quick? And his barbarians are back in. This must be turn 3. Can't be right.
So that's turn 2.
Yeah, but the barbarians moved. Yeah, maybe. Anyway, it's confusing. Troll continues to run towards the back of the board. Hell Rider heading off. And he did charge my grotlings. They stood and shot and killed one. So, it's always great when those guys hit something.
Yeah, I think your
When they
boys
kill
need to get over to and join the battle there.
There we go. Yeah, they do. And they need to get moving. So turn 3, the orcs have now broken. As you can see, they're no longer here.
Yeah, being smacked in the flank with a bunch of great weapon guys doesn't help.
The great weapon guys in the flank destroyed them and ran them down.
Ah.
The giant pursued, and because of the direction, pursued right into the goblins, which is not going to go well either. Yeah. So it's not looking good. The Boar Boys did countercharge into the side of the barbarian riders. And I got my squig herd into his barbarians, which I'm looking at and thinking, this is going to be great. I've got, he's got great weapons. I got a lot of attacks coming in. Unfortunately, hitting him on 4s. This Hell Rider keeps running. My troll has left the board. My Boar Boys clean up the barbarian riders. The Spider and the other Boar Boys are ready to get into the mix. These guys actually held up for a turn, but if you'll notice up top, there's a lot less of the barbarians, but the unit of the Nasher unit seems to be missing.
Yeah.
I'm not sure what's happening during these games where my units just turn up missing.
Yeah.
It's just a bad thing. I think people are cheating me at some point.
Stop walking away from the table. Or check their pockets.
So he decides just to charge the warriors, charge into the side of these guys, just to help the giant out. Not that the giant needs it, but at least this way it'll make it a quick death instead of a slow,
some combat res.
Slow, painful death.
Chaffs up your spider.
His remaining fallen guy decides to chaff up the spider. The warriors have cleaned up my goblins, overrun into the troll. The only thing good I've got going for me on turn 4 is they're facing towards the center of the board, and after they kill this troll, they're going to have to make a move that way, and he's got his messenger in there, so it's at this point, he's not going to be able to get his messenger off the board and get points for that.
Right.
Not that helps me in any way.
He moved it into the big warrior block.
Yeah, I missed that. It's earlier in the game, he had shifted it over. Of course, the giant's running free now with 4 wounds on him. He's hurt, but he's still hanging around. The Boar Boys charged into this remaining fallen. Spider moved off to the right, sorry. Small Grotling base still left there on the top with another unit of boars. So, the Boar Boys blow through the last remaining
but they couldn't clip the giant.
fallen guys. They missed clipping the giant, which is unfortunate for me.
Is that because you took the casualty off the wrong side?
Well, I had to take it off that side because of the way they were lined up. See, they're lined up with him there. I can't take the one out of contact.
Yeah.
So, anyway. So they missed the giant, and they get to meet the warriors. This turns out to be like a 9-inch overrun here, which he makes.
Yeah.
The giant, you can't really see it up here in the top corner of the giant's feet, where the giant is charged into the last remaining unit of Boar Boys.
Up on top.
up
yeah.
on the top here in the thing. They fight a single. The warriors, after they crush this unit of boar boys, overrun into the spider, hit the spider, break it, and in the following turn, run him down here on the edge of the board.
Maybe the spider should have left those woods at some point in time.
No, he was comfortable in the area, he was
Yeah.
liking it. And that's kind of how that one ended. It was,
But you still had Grotlings at the end.
I do have this unit of Grotlings, and I do have a War Machine left. I have a Git Launcher left. So, in this one, I managed to give him 2,750 points out of my 2,500 point army.
That's good.
So I was proud of being able to do that.
It takes a lot of skill to be able to exceed your total army.
It does. I managed to get 644 points off of him, despite dropping the splatter on that stupid giant every turn. I could not kill him. It's just been a moral victory at that point. Anyway. So yeah, anyway, he won by 2,100 points, gave him to solid 18. Normally it would be an 18-2. In this system, it's an 18-6 victory. He got 3 bonus points. I got 2. So it ended up being a total of 21-8. Sound thrashing. A lot of bad play on this game on my part. I really thought that first initial charge was going to do it, but I should have just hung back and just continued to chaff up that
even if
warrior
you caught him,
unit.
you probably would have still gotten hit by the giant in the flank.
The giant still would have got me in the flank. Again, I should have, looking back, I should have played it much safer and just, like I said, I had the pieces. I could have chaffed up that big warrior block for a long time.
And you had the shooting advantage.
And I had a shooting advantage. So, yeah. Anyway, that was Game 5. And I don't know if you watched the wrap-up video we did. Despite I won 2, lost 3, and got 21st out of 98 players.
Yeah, that's how the points work in this.
With the way the
tournament.
points work. And that's one of the things we concentrated on going into this is, you know, my club mates and I had talked about it and looked at it and was like, there's 5 bonus points a game out of, when you can only get 20 with a massacre,
Right.
is a big chunk.
No, it's a big deal, yeah.
So we were looking at those and we were trying to maximize on those points. Yeah, it was, like, again, not a good game. Not a good game for me. I could have played it much better. Should have played it much better, but it's what goes.
Yeah, but did you have fun?
It is Game 5. I did have fun. Again, another great opponent. I've said it before, all my opponents were wonderful guys. Didn't have a problem with any of them.
Well, in the end, that's what matters.
Yeah, it was great. Five really good games with people I've never played before. Usually in a tournament, I hate to say it, but usually in a tournament, you get one guy somewhere that
There's always that one guy.
can do something and mess it up. But anyway, not in this one. Not in this one at all. And the vampire player that I crushed, that I beat, was beating badly with the Doom Divers not missing and everything. He could have easily turned it into a miserable game just by sitting there skulking or whatever. But
Right.
he was up laughing, having a good time, playing. Great guy. I actually voted him best opponent, and he won best sportsmanship in the game, in the tournament. So other people thought so as well.
That's who you want to play.
And to me, I would much rather play 5 of those games than end up. I'd probably rather do that than end up number 1 overall.
5 of those games where you smoke your opponent?
Well,
And,
5 of those,
and they like it?
5 of those games where I'm having a really good time playing my opponent.
Yeah, well, that's why we play the game.
And I had 5
Most
really
of
good
us.
games
So,
in this one.
yeah.
So anyway, that's going to wrap it up for Buckeye Battles. If you've listened to all 5 of these, thank you. And we'll have more reports coming soon.